And here we are.
There'll be more talks at headquarters. I brought you here for a reason.
I'm sure in your mind it's sufficient, Peter, but as I expressed, you're wasting time.
I have a million things to do. Out here in the middle of nowhere is insane.
Don't worry, I'll have you back when we're finished, Diane.
I'm a teacher, Mr. Rockville. My time is valuable.
That's our problem in society. We don't care enough about the children. Wouldn't you say, Peter?
I'd like to hear your perspective on that, Diane.
You can't be serious.
Right now I'm more concerned about getting hit by a truck.
Right.
This section of the highway is closed, no worries.
Do you realize how much money I'm missing?
Bronson, do you think he cares? You're the prime suspect.
Well, he needs to care. I'm not a man who deals in this kind of foolishness, putting our lives on the line, regardless of a closed road.
You're both frustrated. I understand.
Diane, let Detective Rockville know he hasn't seen me frustrated yet.
Well, it's been quite a while since I was on your payroll. Things are a bit foggy these days.
Solar, these are the current facts. I'm not exactly in a position to discuss over the phone what I think you have in mind. My voice carries. Service is right outside the door. It'll be best if you meet me here after hours.
Hunter. You know better than that. What I'm about to disclose is front-page newsworthy. My home can only be described as over-the-top elegance fit for a magnificent queen. Why would I leave it to go there? Stop. My presence will not grace that awful side of town. I don't like motels. I wouldn't be caught dead going in one if it were the last bed and shelter on earth. What are you talking about? Are you insane? That would be career suicide. Gamble with your life. Not mine. No. Talk to Bronson about it, Hunter. I have absolutely nothing to do with it since you're desperately trying to see whose balls are bigger. How insightful you are. Really cute. But I don't think so. You don't know me. And you never will. Look, I don't care about romance. I called to tell you I have what might benefit us in the Deborah Sabar case, so stop with your nonsense and listen. I took the initiative to research, instead of sitting around waiting for the other shoe to drop. Do you want this information or not? I have to be at the airport in 2 hours. Remember where your focus lies. I do, because I'm sick of you blackmailing me. I want this over, Hunter. And that is why I did a little digging on my own. You'll never guess what I found. Fine, Hunter, whatever. Meet me at the cafe by that diner I like. We'll talk discreetly. On my side of town, thank you very much. That's right. Let's just say it pays to have friends who run certain professional businesses right here in the county.
My wife deserves more. Not this.
Tell me about the stolen painting you had Diane deliver years ago.
It's none of your business. Or your concern, Peter, get on a new path, why don't you?
I'm surprised you don't already know, Detective. You have to change your thinking. How else do people sleep at night?
Hello, Rita.
How are you, Detective Rockville?
Working overtime most days to the best of my ability. How about yourself?
Let's see. I have a baby sister that's getting a master's degree in criminology next Friday. Parents who are happily married. Celebrating their 50th anniversary.
Wonderful.
My husband and adult children are great. And I've been working late for the past 4 months fighting off tiredness, but I'm handling okay. I take the bitter with the sweet.
Glad to hear it. It's imperative to engage interests. Other than the main profession, I have one that feeds on my angers, my fears, ups, downs, and I still crave it, nonetheless.
Very interesting.
It's the only way to survive in a world like ours.
We do the best we can.
And I'm sure the truth will come out in this case.
It will.
Which is why I got here as fast as I could.
Safety precautions first, I hope.
Always. I called your office in the middle of the night after receiving your voicemail.
I was in the morgue, studying Mrs. Sabar's corpse. Or, in Lab 214.
I see.
Let's unpack, dive into the case, shall we, Mr. Rockville? No pun intended. Looks as though our Deborah was killed before she was stuffed in the suitcase. Estimated time of death was around 12 hours prior.
Lots of ground to cover, we want to be sure to miss nothing. Her family deserves answers.
Sure.
The right answers. I arrived on scene shortly after she was discovered. You couldn't get near with a 10-foot pole, there were so many flies, bugs and things surrounding her.
That's what was recorded. Yes.
Naturally.
Anyway, because of the severity nature in crime, our team took extra precautions in preserving the integrity of evidence.
Very good.
In fact, Detective, we actually do this for all cases whether foul play was suspected or not. Each case warrants careful consideration in gathering evidence to solve them.
I understand.
I'm sure you do.
Deborah's untimely, unfortunate demise is certainly ruled homicide.
So, Peter, with that being said, some toxicology findings, blood and urine, have been made available for analysis, while others, hair, fluids, stomach contents, are still being tested.
Whatever it takes to get us closer to putting these diabolical culprits in prison where they belong.
We employed the assistance of a forensic entomologist. They will analyze insects, which sequentially colonized the corpse as decomposition progressed.
Perfect. They will also look at rates, which various stages of these insects' offspring have developed.
Narrowing things way down is the name of the game.
Right.
So far it seems one individual committed the acts in this case.
Trace evidence and latent prints revealed 2 people.
Yes, it did. Although, not necessarily.
What do you mean?
Well, as I revealed to you, there was a foreign object stuck inside Mrs. Sabar's throat.
The chip of an ancient artifact from the 1800s.
Authenticated by a trusted appraisal company whose headquarters are in Beverly Hills.
Services retained by the same museum of the painting in question. Very interesting.
You got it.
Keep going.
2 sets of prints were lifted from the leather pants she had on.
Right.
So,
why was this hard-working woman slain in this way?
That is what we are trying to find out, Detective.
Before you tell me about the double prints, Rita, or lack thereof.
Exactly.
There's always steps forward, them steps unilaterally drives me crazy sometimes. To be exact.
What happened?
More like what didn't happen. The airport has several cameras pointing in the vicinity where Deborah's suitcase was placed.
That's good news. Were you able to pull footage?
Here's the kicker, Rita.
Don't say it.
My sediment exactly. Most cameras worked. except for the one aimed directly at Deborah. A precarious situation.
Incredible. Why are we paying taxes? Are you serious?
I'm thrown on that one too.
We just keep pushing and determining the case, no time to ponder setbacks of any kind.
You took the words right out of my brain.
I'm sure. This won't discourage us.
What's next?
Ligature marks found on her neck, wrists and ankles, 3 cracked ribs, 2 missing fingers, nubs burned at the tips.
Terrible. This monstrosity is beyond redemption.
Fair to say. I discovered something else.
Go on.
Cases like this can really get a person down.
True. Continue, Miss Chandler. Hello there.
Great.
Find any good books worth reading?
I'm busy.
I'm not a dirty old man who can't keep his hands to himself, seeking out female attention if that's on your mind.
I don't know what you are.
Here's the kicker. I'm a steadfast, tenacious detective pursuing answers for the deceased. I don't stop.
And I don't have anything to say.
You didn't say much in the presence of myself and your previous employer.
When it's my turn to bring me in, we'll talk there.
Well, it tugs at my heartstrings to discover a woman out at night in a place like this. Doing research.
Place like this? It's a library.
Rather late, isn't it?
No.
Really? Tell me more.
Don't give me orders. You're not in charge of me, nor will you ever be at any point.
Correct. I don't own people just because they're under investigation.
I'm entitled to learn and expand about the heritage that brings great wealth and tremendous value to my life.
Sure.
That's right, detective.
It pays to be diplomatic. I wouldn't want to get in the way of that.
Are you serious?
Totally.
I'd say you're being quite presumptuous, detective.
I don't think so. Let's have a seat. I just need a few minutes, Miss Vernon. If you don't mind.
Do I have a choice? How long is this going to go on?
Until the killer is caught and brought to justice.
Do you think you can say it louder for the people in the back?
Mrs. Bramford. I must be stopped. People need to listen. Instead of going about daily life, not knowing who's next, or what will happen.
Xena, I agreed to meet you here at the time you requested. That should prove I'm on your side. You don't have to suffer in silence. My heart aches for what you're going through.
I have the ability to make others see the future in real time. Valuable information. This is the gift I've been trying to tell you about.
The Sabars weren't very nice to you years ago.
How do you know? You were not there to get a first-hand report.
Diane, come off it. I noticed you and Bronson weren't quite in a cohesive place out there on the road that afternoon.
So what?
Perhaps unresolved feelings surfacing finally.
I am sure you think you have it figured out and you're just going for extra credit.
No. On the contrary.
Strange. Deborah's ring.
What about it?
You said it was found tossed on the road like a piece of garbage.
Did I exactly say that?
In so many words. Maybe not verbatim. In any case. She never took the ring off. Poor woman. I felt for her.
Such compassion for folks who were less than nice to you.
I told you it wasn't that bad. Stop digging for imaginary facts, detective.
If you say so, madam.
I do.
Miss Vernon, I find your analysis on the ring and other instances peculiar.
Why?
How would you describe the relationship between Aurora and Bronson?
I don't.
Simple question.
I no longer work for him. I thought I made it clear a week ago.
Barely.
I'm a school teacher and operate my own cooking show.
Perspective at least.
I have no idea. I understand you want to find out who murdered Deborah. But I have my own business. I don't need to be in hers. His. Or anyone for that matter.
Sounds good.
I cared for her. I did.
I understand you handled the Sabar family's paperwork one time or another. Didn't you?
Sometimes. Zola Carbone. She was there too, in the picture to some capacity. Being annoying and backstabbish, I'm sure. Long before I was.
Is that so?
Yes. I was fully aware, even when they thought I wasn't. I'm not hypothetically speaking either. I'm beginning to know how you think, Peter.
Quite the task.
Mr. Rockville.
Peter.
Only when I feel it's necessary.
No problem.
So. I never liked her. Or that gold digger she called an assistant, who also helped maneuver the Sabre company.
Zola Carbone.
Yes. Alora Kane arrived later.
So, the assistant, besides the other two, is an unknown variable. Was there any inappropriate behavior initiated by Bronson towards you during his marriage to Deborah?
Well.
Go on.
I can recall one late evening. I had to stay the night. Because of bad stormy hurricane winds, they advised everyone stay indoors until it passed. Deborah was out of town. On business. As I was getting out the shower, naked and glistening.
Take your time.
He propositioned me.
Get out of town.
While pulling down his slacks, exposing a massive erection.
Unbelievable.
My eyes nearly popped out of my head as he offered to dry me off.
What did you do?
What do you think?
I don't know, that's why I asked.
I was so embarrassed. For the both of us. Then, anger. It took hold inside of me. Like a vengeful monster. How dare he disrespect me and Deborah? We were his backbones. Bewildered by everything, I declined. Packed my things. And left.
What a precarious situation. You certainly told me more than required.
It was a real nightmare. The reality I was living.
Sure.
I needed my job. And I knew where I was going if I didn't keep it.
How much did you know about the Sabars and Sade Bramford's real estate business dealings?
I was given full access to their home. By key. to complete tasks easily.
Living maid.
Not necessarily, but I ran errands of every kind, package delivery, personal assistant, you name it.
At some point, things grew contentious.
Yes.
But not enough to entrust you to deliver a $300,000 painting.
280 grand.
Same thing. Nonetheless, it went missing at the museum shortly after you delivered it.
But I wouldn't hurt Deborah. I didn't kill her. It's not in my character.
But I was too embarrassed to say for fear you wouldn't believe me.
I believe you, child. I do.
You still don't know my other secret.
I'm listening. Always.
I killed someone. It's true.
Young lady, you do not lie about these kinds of things. You can get yourself into something you can't get out of.
I took someone's life. A bad thing happened. This is why I've been cursed and blessed. Simultaneously.
Whose life? Who did you kill? And how did you do it?